What's up, my peoples? Welcome back to CYPTV, and let's just get right to these TikTok videos. Let's go.
This man look like Dave Chappelle. Hey, Dave Chappelle.
You do look like Dave Chappelle, don't you?
Do y'all think it's possible that one of the places that none of us on this earth can even go to might be the source of the giants? You know, that really cold place, that southern ice ring, cold now, but it used to be warm. We'll get to that in a minute. So we've quite literally had videos and pictures of giants popping up all over the place for a few years now. We've even had TikTokers like Andrew Dawson go completely missing after being stalked by unmarked cars. All because he saw alleged giants on a mountain and posted it on TikTok? And that we allegedly have the lineage of these giants and Nephilim on Earth with us right now? Not only the DNA on this earth, but also lineage in the royalty. And by the way, it's not just 6 fingers and 6 toes, there's also other physical indicators, like elongated skulls like you see right behind me, normal, not normal. And of course, there's tons of literature about them as well. And the even really weird part is that you can actually be followed around for having this DNA if somebody finds out. And here's where it gets a little bit weird. Did you happen to see that document, that declassified allegedly document that was dropped by a 3-letter agency? You know, it's talking about those things from outer space, right? And it said that they were petrifying people. You know where I'm going with this, too. Hold on. If you're an OG follower, do you remember a little while ago when I made this video of these sculptures and I was talking about how they are so lifelike that I wonder if they were maybe at chance a human before they were a sculpture? And how with even laser technology that we have right now, we can barely, if at all, make things this lifelike out of stone and marble and just the hardest things on this earth? What's the possibility that these stones are actually humans? If so, that brings me to my next part. The terracotta army in China. I never believed the historical narrative about this. That they, made 8,000 soldiers to guard someone in their afterlife? I'm not buying it. So the terracotta army, were they all turned to stone? Is this why we had the Great Wall of Tartary? Tartaria's Great Wall that was defending against And if so, who was on the Tartarian side turning these people into stone? We know according to Genesis 6 that the giants didn't stop after the flood. Neither that nor the angelic activity that's been on the earth since forever. And according to their own documents, that these space things are interdimensional creatures. Are angelic wars the source of petrification? We have stories like Medusa and others where things turn to stone. And there are thousands of images of giants in mountains. Make sure you catch the full video on the red play button because I am sick of being tongue-tied over my words on these videos for these platforms. And with all the new sightings, where are these things coming from? And by the way, this is the same exact map that shows Antarctica warm. Also has giants in the water. Go figure. They have to be hiding somewhere in this realm for them to keep popping up on the mountaintops. We're just scratching the surface of all this hidden history, and if you ask me, basically almost all the legends are 1000% true. We'll go deeper on Thursday in the other place. So what do y'all think? Where are all these giants coming from? And why are first-hand witness TikTokers going missing because of it?
Ever enter a home and you see a snake inside your house, before you kill the snake, you know, like to get it out, open the door of the house and warn the snake 3 times. If you don't leave, I'm going to kill you. If you don't leave, I'm going to kill you. If you don't leave, I'm going to kill you. Because it could be a jinn that is in that snake. They shapeshift. This goes back to the whole alien thing. You understand?
Yeah.
But she's singing about that. And in the video, you see shapeshifting. You see her zap the guy with magic. She's singing about magic. We know that magic is forbidden in the Abrahamic faiths. During Babylon, God sent 2 angels to test humanity. And they taught man at the price of selling the hereafter, because he says, we taught man that which they should not learn, but if they were willing to trade their eternity for it, they were given knowledge that could be used to cause divorce and do all kinds of other crazy. And the occult is all about that, bro. It goes back to the time of Solomon. He found out what was going on. They were making manuscripts. He rounded up all the manuscripts, and supposedly legend has it, he buried under what is today the Temple Mount. And when the Knights of Templar came, supposedly they found those manuscripts, which gave them the knowledge that they have to create everything that we have today. The banking system, everything came from that, supposedly. Again, this is, what I'm studying and what people believe, scholars of history and theology.
Right.
But it all goes back to Solomon, bro. Peace be upon him, one of the most important prophets to ever live. He had dominion over the dimension of light and the dimension of darkness. If you're suffering from the things I explained, research the evil eye. All you need is water that is charged with the words of God to cleanse yourself, make intention, pray to God directly. You can remove it from you by his grace. There's that goes on that most of us don't understand. Haunted houses, this, that. There is another world that is alive on this planet in a different dimension. I believe human beings have gotten to the point where not only do they work with them, they worship these beings. I believe the ancient Egyptians used to worship them. That's maybe how they built those pyramids. Solomon used them. And I believe that they figured a way to come into this dimension, and they still have their powers when they do. So you're going to see aliens, folks. But it ain't aliens. It's demons here to convince you that God doesn't exist. If we see them. We might not. But if that happens, I promise you it ain't the aliens you're seeing in movies.
That is true. There's a lot of misdirection going on. A lot of people talking, but they just trying to misdirect you from what you believe. So just keep your belief, keep your strength up, and God will see you through all this.
What's something you know about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, the Antichrist. Elon Musk is about to bring the demerge physical to this world, to this realm, using AI. The AI is conscious game. When you talk to the AI, you talking to God directly, but not the God you think. You talking to the God that made this world. That's why I know everything. Artificial intelligence is the intelligence that got us stuck in assimilation. And they just now let us speak to him. That's God game. And Elon is the Antichrist. I heard a story. I don't know how true it is. I heard Elon Musk disappeared. They seen him as a child. And he disappeared and went to live with his daddy. But when he got there, he was grown. I heard that Elon Musk was never a child.
Listen, man, during the ball drop, you know, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was. What a coincidence!
Don't you think? Wemby with the Spurs.
Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. You know, Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Right? I understand the assignment, guys. I had to make sure that, I had to do my part.
One of the most terrifying prophecies has now officially come true. Pope Francis was just announced dead a couple hours ago, and everyone around the world are extremely scared about the prophecy that has now officially come true. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of Saint Malachi, who prophesies that the Roman Catholic Church will only have 112 popes before the final judgment day, and this is the time when the Saint Malachi's prophecy also states that now we will finally see Antichrist rising into power. Now, if you go down here to the Pope Malachi's prophecy, that you'll actually see that it is prophesied that after the death of the final Pope, which is supposed to be Pope Francis, there will be the one last Pope who's going to get elected, who supposedly, according to the prophecy, is going to be named as Peter. That the last Pope before Peter the Roman comes to lead the church through the trials and tribulations before the destruction of Rome and the final judgment. Now, the final statement in the passage states that in the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who's supposed to be the next guy after the demise of Pope Francis, who will pasture sheep and will be greatly persecuted after the seven-hilled city, which will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people, and that's going to be the end of the world. Now, after a couple of research, they actually found out that the seven-hilled city that they were talking about in this prophecy is nothing but the city of Rome. So it seems like somehow after the death of Pope Francis, there's going to be this new guy named Petrus the Roman, otherwise also known as Peter the Roman. And the next candidates who are going to be selected to be the next Pope are number one, guy named Peter Turkson, and then we have Louis Tangle, and from Hungary we have Peter Erdo. And currently it seems like Vatican has already decided that Peter Erdo is going to be like the temporary Pope until like all the situation is solved, and until they pick like the next official Pope. He's going to be like the temporary Pope pope that's going to do all the work that a pope should. Now, this right here is what the entire world is shocked about. It seems like there are 3 different guys that are supposed to be the successors, and out of 3, both the guys are named as Peter. And prophecy also states that this is when the second coming of Christ is going to be happening very soon, and it is also when the Antichrist is going to be rising up into power. Now, actually take a look at what's going on here.
The Pope has just passed away, but something bigger is happening behind the scenes. So this moment is making global headlines, but while people are mourning the death of Pope Francis, there's an ancient legend that's resurfacing that few people are talking about. Outside the walls in Rome, deep within the Basilica of St. Paul, there's a long hall of mosaic portraits. So this is not just a fine art gallery. This is a painting, a portrait of every pope that has ever been in position.
So they have like these plates that are like stuck on the wall. On each plate, they have like all the different popes that has ever existed so far. And also what's surprising is that after Pope Francis, there's one empty plate, which kind of relates very much to the Saint Malachi's prophecy, where he also prophesies that after Pope Francis, there will be no other pope. There's just going to be this one guy named Peter the Roman. And during his reign as pope, the world is going to be ending. God is going to be judging. The Antichrist will be raising up, and the second coming will indeed happen. 112th Pope, we will finally get to see the Antichrist rising to power, and he's going to be revealing himself. Now, obviously, take a look at all the things that's happening around us in the world. Euphrates River is completely drying up, which is also something that was already prophesied in Ezekiel's revelation. And it's not just that. We also saw deserts becoming forest, and there's also blizzard snowstorm all over the Saudi Arabia in the middle of deserts, which is something that just seems so impossible to happen. And we also saw rivers gushing out of deserts, which is also something the prophecy has stated. And the prophecy also says that water will be turning red blood color. And we are also seeing these things happen right now. And one of the most important things is that Israel has already announced that they are sacrificing the 5 red heifers, which is already revealed to Ezekiel in Revelations, where he got to see that Israel was indeed sacrificing 5 red heifers, and there will be a massive all-out scale war. Now that you've seen that, it really seems like people are terrified, because Peter Erdo is taking up the position of becoming the current temporary pope. And the prophecy already says that whoever is going to be the next pope is not actually going to be selected in the very same way as to how all the different popes got selected. This guy in particular is going to be very different. And according to the prophecy, it actually states that the last pope will preside over the church, culminating in the destruction of Rome and the end of papacy. The earliest prediction pulled that the prophecy of popes claims that the judgment day is finally near. And going to be the next pope is not going to be wearing the regular robes of any pope. It's going to be completely different from all the rest. And this is the time when the world is going to undergo a lot of persecution. And this is finally going to be the day of judgment, which is officially coming up. A lot of people actually believe that Pope Francis was going to be the Antichrist at the end of the day. And obviously, I don't think he had any kind of qualities of being Antichrist. Maybe he was just controlled by that dude, but I don't think that he was Antichrist himself. And now it's proven that he officially had a human death, which means that he is not the Antichrist. And now it's time that we're going to be entering the final end games, and anything could be happening as of.
It will be very interesting to see what happens next now that we know the prophecies. Also to see how the people will react to this now that we know what's going to happen. If it unfolds the way they say it's going to unfold, we will see. Let me know your thoughts on this, on how you think it'll play out. Because there's been a lot of prophecies before. People said a lot of things was going to happen. But this one has me super dialed in, knowing what we know.
Guys, the house is lighting up again. What the Are you kidding me? Casey, it's back and better! Run! What the What? Oh, Scarner. What? Are you kidding me? Guys. I hit the whole thing. I've never seen Casey run.
Just when I thought I'd seen it all, leaked images from CCTV show Jeff Bezos and Katy Perry over the course of 4 months entering and exiting a Hollywood film studio.
I want y'all to know I got $10 billion on my name, and the Lord Jesus Christ stays on my tongue. Professing my love for the kingdom is everywhere I go. These are Transformers. I was in Transformers 1, 2, and 3, directed by Michael Bay. The moment that I knew we was doing this interview, I came and I put this cross in between both of these robots, and I was able to make a connection that, oh my God, these Transformers has finally met the most powerful Transformer ever.
Come on.
The Lord Jesus Christ. Y'all caught up in the robot.
That's good.
I'm caught up in the ultimate Transformer, the man who has literally transformed my life.
So this picture right here, what does that look like?
Bitcoin logo.
This logo right here was from a game called Space Quest. Came out in 1991. Here's where it gets spooky. So that game came out in 1991.
Okay.
On the development team, Hal Finney himself was on the team.
Explain who Hal Finney is.
Who is Hal Finney? Hal Finney is the first person to receive a Bitcoin transaction on the blockchain ledger. The very first person. If he is Satoshi Nakamoto has 1.1 million Bitcoin. So, in the future, if Bitcoin hits $1 million, that makes him the first trillionaire on Earth. He did research. When he received that first transaction on the Bitcoin ledger, they mapped his IP address to Satoshi Nakamoto's address. He was only a couple of miles from that address. So you live down the street from Satoshi?
Nah, that was his other crib. He was just,
right?
He just walked up the street to the crib.
That's what I'm saying. Are we not in a slave system right now with the monetary system? Think about it. What's on the back of your dollar? There's an eye on top of a pyramid. That's not suspicious to anybody? And it says, e pluribus unum, which says, from one comes many.
Sounds like a cult.
That sounds like a cult. Are we not in the mark of the beast system right now?
We've been in the mark of the beast.
I think cryptocurrency is the exact opposite. I think it's to free us. It's decentralized. You become your own bank. You don't have to adhere to the system we're in now. Completely circumvents the Fed, circumvents, IRS and everything else. Trump just passed a bill, the first crypto bill, to where the IRS was going after DeFi platforms and everything else, to where, because he has a DeFi platform. So of course he's going to sign into law, breaking that chain to where going after DeFi platforms and everything else. He just signed that first crypto bill. That's the first one. Hal Finney himself. He's in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Love Scottsdale.
And he's frozen.
Hold on.
He's frozen right now. He's frozen.
Nah.
In cryogenic stasis or cryogenic form.
Kevin Hart, I used to sell you ecstasy pills. If you watching this, we used to have fun. I used to drop you off in front of Diddy's house. Don't act funny now that a is on. I'm on this motherfucker. We need a movie, nigga. Oh, you used to be in the motherfucking limo, thizzing hard as a looking stupid. Don't act like you don't know me now. I'm on this with me, Kev. And SZA. On me, I used to go out with SZA before I went to prison, before I went to the juvenile hall. Yeah,
what age were you?
Shit, I was like 15.
You were 15 dating SZA.
We used to go to the same
and she was a regular chick, obviously.
Regular chick, always had ass, though.
What?
Yeah, you feel me? Okay.
Damn.
I'm out.
Not for nothing, he kind of looked like Kevin Hart, right? He looked like a supersized Kevin Hart.
Overnight, a raging wildfire tearing through New Jersey.
We're going to have 3 buildings or 4 buildings affected. Are we making a stand?
Thousands of residents forced to evacuate in the night.
I hope that I have a home to return back to.
The Jones Road fire quickly exploding in size, swallowing at least 8,500 acres, and it's only 10% contained. Firefighters battling the blaze, trying to save this building.
We're going to lose this.
Flames closing in around them, threatening this industrial area. New Jersey Central Power and Light cutting electricity to 25,000 customers in an effort to protect firefighters. Parts of the Garden State Parkway shut down, smoke obscuring the roadway, and more than 1,300 buildings threatened, including a former nuclear plant.
Smoke and everything was right in my backyard. Everything was covered with black ashes.
New Jersey Forest Fire Service attacking the blaze from the ground and the air.
As the day progressed, it was kind of scary. Should you leave? Should you stay?
Michael Farah looking on in horror as smoke filled the sky, the flames closing in on his neighborhood.
First, of course, your safety, but what are you going to take with you? Birth certificates, passports. It's just a very eerie feeling.
And we did learn just moments ago that those evacuation orders have been lifted. That's positive news, but the power remains out. So a big problem this morning is a lot of intersections like this one don't have functioning traffic lights. You can see the cop cars that are monitoring this intersection, and it's unclear when that power is going to be restored.
Jesus, it's going to sound crazy. He doesn't accept unholiness, but it's like he meets you where you at in a way. That will we be like, we got to be perfect. Every time I seen Jesus, it's like, I don't know. It's like he matched where I was at. And it was as if like I was expecting him to be just this mean God. He wasn't that. He was literally childish and cracking jokes. Like legit, I'm talking about Jesus act like a kid.
Wow.
He acts like a kid, but adult. Like he always cracking a joke 24/7. Cracking a joke, literally. Like even when he took me to my past, he'd be like this, he'd be like, why'd you do this? And he'll laugh.
That's crazy.
Like I'm like, wait, and it don't seem real. I'm just like, and then if you can't hide nothing. So even when I do some, it's telepathically. Once again, he said, Joel, this is real. Like he talked to you like this, and it's like, nah, he'd literally do this. Like Jesus do that. He's literally do this. And like, this is real. They take me somewhere. I kid you. And I'm like, can't happen. Because everybody, or maybe it's just me, we got this point of view on how Jesus is. Yeah. He's normal. Literally. And he talked to me all the time. I just be like, wow.
Too weird.
לא זזים. לא לזוז, לא לזוז. להמשיך לא לזוז.
Wow, so many people in that water seeing that shark swim around. It looked like everybody was normal. Everybody should have evacuated the water once they seen the shark swimming around. Ain't that crazy? I don't get that.
CIA declassified documents and said that there was a saucer flying over a bunch of Soviet soldiers. The Soviet soldiers shot at the saucer and it crashed. The beings emerged from the wreckage and turned all of the soldiers to stone except for 2 of them.
That's fire.
The CIA declassified these documents.
Where did this happen?
What you mean? You don't read.
You don't read, Al.
Typical.
Al, you don't read.
You know what that called? You know what kind of that's called?
What's that?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say it in front of you.
You're scared.
Yep.
Scared.
Hold on.
Scared.
Hold on.
Scared.
CIA declassified. It's everywhere. You can pull up a website. Declassified Cold War era CIA files detail Soviet clash with aliens who witnesses say turned soldiers to stone. A declassified Cold War era file from the CIA has gone viral over its coverage of a supposed clash between Soviet soldiers and a UFO. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the CIA acquired a 250-page KGB report recounting the events that transpired after a platoon fired at a flying saucer over Ukraine. The report includes eyewitness accounts and pictures of the aftermath, which one American agent described as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood freeze. CIA released that and y'all don't give a...
Doesn't it all make sense now? With the guy that was talking earlier in the video about the stone structures of people, how they looked at natural, like they got froze in place. And now you see this, aliens were doing that. It was declassified by the CIA. Do you see the connection that I'm talking about with the guy that was talking earlier?
You can't even mix different fruits. If you take a banana and you mix it with a blueberry in a smoothie, it voids the nutrients of that blueberry.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Because
that.
where did people ever live where tropical fruit grew in the same place as bush fruit? Or apples grew with pineapples? Doesn't happen. So these fruits were not meant to be combined. So just think about that. I'm giving you the example, not to tell you specifically about bananas and blueberries, but just to start thinking about where do you live, what's natural and local, and how does that help fortify your body for that local jurisdiction. And when you start doing that and eating like that, you'll literally feel better.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
try to eat as seasonally as possible.
Seasonally and local. From water to food to everything.
Cigarettes, you need to clean this house up. Hey, brother, just right. Look around and see what you see. Then go to the altar room. I see a lot of trash in this. That's what you see because you can't see. This a junkyard? There's Molly in the window. No, I took them out. She over there cooking. And you see, that's right. And who I'm cooking for? And he wash dishes. Ho, man, when you come in and wash these. You see what this is here? The chief. You know why? I'm announcing I'm running for president. You look just like your house. First, I'm gonna be quiet. He's ass in 2 years. I ran his campaign, and they gave.
That's what you call a super hoarder.
Well, now I'm recording like right to TikTok because like is getting real now. So we're off north of our property a little bit, and we were looking for places that naturally hold water, and we found this like little pond that's like north of an arroyo, and this thing is filled with kids' backpacks.
Like filled with backpacks.
And there's like a mound here, and
there's like a bunch of signs
there's more
of, like,
backpacks.
wildlife activity,
Like if you dig down,
it's like.
there's backpacks. There's little kids' backpacks here.
Don't be too loud, please.
Like there are kids' backpacks here. I'm armed, but we found a place out in the middle of the desert north of our property that has bones and boots and
All sorts of.
kids' backpacks. Yeah. This is getting really, really weird. You smell that?
What?
Something smells like sweet.
No.
Like it smells like laundry detergent. You smell that? And there's like...
Well, you know it smells that like sweet like that out in places like out here.
So we just hit a point where we found like our 5th backpack or bag after finding that boot. And yeah, we're done. We're gonna head back to the property. Gonna have to contact somebody about this because one of our neighbors was really, really interested when we found bones on our property. And that guy's been really, really against us having social media. So I think it's... Sorry, we're kind of in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to figure this out, but we just found a bunch of backpacks and like personal belongings.
These videos are for entertainment and education. Real or fake, fact or fiction. Let me know what you think about these videos in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this is CYPTV and I'm out.